What are we watching? No audio
Jerome
though.
Powell, Cynthia Loomis,
System of
about
banking.
stable
And
coins.
I do think that there was that kind of discretion unleashed on banks, and it had a negative impact, a real chilling
How's everybody
impact
doing?
on banks as they selected and
Fantastic.
banked certain industries and then debanked other industries and other people during the last 4
It's
years.
his Jerome Powell's
So
testimony right now.
taking the guidance
Bitcoin was pumping
documents
this morning. Now it's dumping.
and policy statements out is important, but also guiding the people that there are changes now and that they can no longer use their own subjective biases towards DEI and ESG and other things in supervising the banks is also a critical component of bank regulation.
I agree completely, and as you know, Vice
Crypto
Chair
Seeker, thanks for coming through to
Bowman
the
is
channel,
actually
man.
a former bank supervisor, so
I love me a
she's
good
very well
lurker.
placed to make that happen.
And I realize that she as vice chair is more directly involved in bank supervision. I hope that you will use your role to punctuate
What's a
the
lurker?
importance of those changes within
A lurker,
the bank
OC, is
supervision.
someone who's like, they're there, but they don't say anything. So you know how you got like 80 people watching you on the show, but only like 20 of them are talking in the chat. So
Right.
everybody who isn't saying hello or good morning, they're always they're hiding in the background. They're
Got it.
That
You know,
speaking at a New York Times event,
they're
you said
lurking.
the U.S. federal budget is on an
Like that, like
unsustainable.
Daga.
U.S. federal
Oh,
budget is
got
on an
it.
unsustainable path. The debt is not only at
Thanks
an
for the
unsustainable
explanation.
level, but the path is unsustainable, and we know that we have to change that. Would you still agree that that is true?
Yes, that's the one thing that I would
I
always
don't know
say,
if
and
you
that
want
my
to keep
predecessors
watching
would
this,
say, and that's the kind of the
or
only
if we
thing we
want
say
to
about fiscal
go into the
policy.
chart.
Exactly. And I would agree with that at a time
Let's
when
go to the
Americans
charts
are
and
struggling to
let's
figure out how to afford their
finish early so we can maybe finish
lives
up
and
what's
have low
going on in there.
confidence in the economy.
Let's just
To
do a
add to
quick
the
revision
deficit now
today.
as
Charts.
No worries.
Crypto Seeker. Absolutely. All right. So we're getting up there. Remember, like right after, what was it? It was Monday. Monday I mentioned you guys, I bought Bitcoin, right? I bought Bitcoin. It's a spot Bitcoin. It has my stop loss already. So I'm either going to sell it or send it to my crypto wallet. That will depend on what happens up next in the few days. So my stop loss yes, it's an entry, slightly above entry. In fact, not slightly above entry, way above entry. My stop loss right now it's at 104,725. So it is almost out there. Let me share my screen so you guys also can see what's going on in my charts.
You're rich, man.
Hopefully, but no. I'm just making the wrong one bigger. There we go. So this was the plan number 8, right? Basically I bought in here as we were going back up. Do we have the dump? We went to my area of entry. We did not hit my actual alert on another setup. Let me see if I still have that alert. It's not in here, and it should be either here or here. Well, whatever. I was expecting 103, 98, 93, and did not hit that alert. And on the way up, as we hit again 100K, I bought. That was the plan. Hopefully, I could have caught the very bottom, but I didn't. And then, well, what happens? Usually, the best day of purchasing is right after the worst day, right? It was not such a big dump that we had it. In fact, just an itty bitty tiny dumping here. I mean, we have had much bigger dumps across the board, right? So nothing special there. It was more like a fear factor, I would say. And right now we're aiming somewhere around 109. So whatever happens, if I hit 109, I'm gonna be selling 50% of that position. and the other 50% that is in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin is going to my Lend wallet. Remember that Lend, it's giving me APY, and what I have already on right now, I have few dollars, just my trading account. The rest is on Mexican pesos, and that is because I'm getting a 14% annual return on a bank called either Hey. There's a bank called Hey, and there's another bank called Hey. Maybe they're Canadian. Hey, or is it Joe? No, it's Hey, right? So, but it's a Hey Banco or Hey Bank, and what's the other one? NU Bank. Those are giving me 14 on return. So remember, the key is to have always getting your money sitting there working for you. Even, thank you, honey. Even if that is, oh my goodness, look at that beautiful coffee. Look at that. It has foam, milk.
I'm jealous. I'm gonna go and pour my black
vanilla.
coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh,
I'm empty.
look at that.
I'm so
jealous. I gotcha. Oh, man. I did actually got him jealous. All right. That was, by the way, thank you, honey. She's preparing hers. She first prepared mine. Thank you, honey. I know you're down there on the coffee station, and what a coffee! All right, so getting back at what we have discussed, guys. Remember, your money that is not being actively traded needs to be invested in a way. Remember, trading is not investing. Trading is timing the market. Investment is having in a stock, a growing stock, or having it in another currency that is giving you actively growth, or having it into an index. Even there, that index, if you can make passive income on that index, you need to do so. So right now, since I'm getting short time period 14 annualized yields, so that's why it's in Mexican pesos. My trading account, it's my trade account that stays in USDT and USDC. And then my savings account, which, by the way, full disclosure, it is fully on Bitcoin. I don't recommend that, but this is one of the things that I would say, do as I said, not as I do, right? But I'm taking the risk to, in this case, put all of my eggs in the same basket, which is a retirement Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin, it's on Lend, not a sponsor, not suggesting it. Just go take a look at those. Based on personal experience, and I'm not winning or gaining anything out of that, is that Lend is a Canadian company. They are so freaking good at what they do. And when we have the 3 Arrow Capital dump, they were like on mute. Like they were like, oh yeah, they're failing. We're doing stuff like we are supposed to, right? And that built up confidence on me. Again, I'm not telling you to use them. Things might change in the future, but so far, in my experience, they're one of the safest, and they're giving me, I think, 3% annual returns on my Bitcoin, which is fine. I'm doing annualized return in one side, investment, because it's on an asset. My fiat is on an asset, which is Bitcoin, and then my fiat is also in compound savings, giving me another passive income on the 14. So in both ends of the rope, I'm doing compound savings as we speak. Therefore, when we hit, or if we hit, I think that we are going to be hitting at least 109. I'm going to be selling out 50% to put into my trading account, and the other 50% that is Bitcoin, because this Bitcoin spot is going to be going to Lend to keep making me that 3% annualized. So far, this is the update of the plan. What are we going to be looking, or what could we be expecting? A reversal. Easy, a reversal. I think that we are right now on areas, and I don't know, Alex, if we have a say or in English like we do in Spanish. In Spanish, literally translated, it is give the king what is of the king. So that means, like, for example, Alex mentioned last time, right, that what if would have been so funny, right, that if we get to 109, get everybody bullish, and then they dump the price, right? So Alex called it out, and I just want to say that's it, because he did, and I believe that is exactly what we're going to be seeing. I believe that we have one more leg to the upside because we have a huge order block. Let me show it to you. Oh, not that. Let me show you mine. There we go. That's my order block. We have a huge order block, but this is a almost 50-50. So one of two things happens in here, and that's because the 47 will cancel out with a 53. I cannot see inside that order block unless I go to Bitstamp or Binance or any other place that give me that fragmented volume. But if all of the buys are at 109, which I don't think so, they're first the buys and then the sells, we're gonna start pushing through that order block. And then the bears are gonna chicken out and reallocate back or up. All right, just so you know, which means we can take that order block right away. If that happens, that's fine. I don't long the top, the all-time highs, all right? I just don't. I long the breakout, retest my entry, and then off we go with the risk with the stop loss. And then if the sells are at the bottom of the order block, right? When we go, we reject, and then the bulls are gonna start checking out and then migrating up and down. We already can see that because look at how big of that bearish order block has been increasing. Yesterday it was not like that, right? It was small. It was more like it was less of a disparity here. So right away we start seeing how the bears are started decreasing and migrating down. And if we go to lower time frames, which I'm not gonna be doing, they are migrating up also. All right. So regardless what happens, I'm gonna be calling this out. But I believe that we're gonna do something like that. We're gonna wreck a lot of people, and then maybe, and just maybe on the next try, we might be able to pierce through. But other than that, what are your thoughts, Alex? And how is your coffee?
My coffee is how I like my woman, hot and black.
Oh my goodness.
um, I couldn't help it. Too easy, man.
Too easy, too easy.
And it's big cups, you know, big cups.
Oh, I love it.
I'm short right now, man. I'm short
Mhm.
from 107,750. So I'm short from way up here. I've already realized stop loss to entry. Pretty obvious, man. Like you don't have to be a rocket scientist for this one. We're very overextended to the upside. Ooh wee. Okay, printing. I'm looking to come back down to 105 here. So lots of liquidity, right? Lots of liquidity. Lots of people to make sad. You know, we want to see everybody cry here. So, you know, looking for a continuation down, right? I do like your. I mean, this is short term, right? Like, remember, OC is long term. Any retracement is still fine for him, right? What did you say your stop loss at? 104 or something like that. So
104, 800. Yeah.
Yeah, you're giggling all the way to the bank. I'm sorry, I gotta take off another 50% here.
Let's go.
Alert.
Oh,
We are
Sign
now
of
hitting.
cash.
Okay, I didn't know if I was gonna share this with you guys, but I will. Virtual is now entering. Basically, this is a trade setup I have for my community. So, you guys are gonna have the privy of a trade setup, I guess. Oh, I guess Pepe is ready too. Okay. So we got virtual. I'll share it with you guys here. Here's the virtual setup. And let's go look at PP or Pepe, whatever you want to call it. I like calling it PP until it pays me. Then I'll call it Pepe. Yeah, so we're not there yet. We're approaching it for Pepe as well. Okay. Possible buying opportunity here for Pepe too. What do we wait for when we're trading altcoins? Quick question. What do we wait for? We wait for bottoming structure. If you do not know what bottoming structure is, you need to do some effing homework. This is the first thing you should study. is what does bottoming and topping structure look like, okay? I highly suggest you go through your chart, okay? And you use Alt V, okay? That'll put a vertical timeline on your chart. Everywhere where you want to short, you put a red line. Everywhere where you want to long, you put a green line. And you go in with your indicator and you study what bottoming structure looks like, what topping structure looks like. This will be the best thing you do for yourself for trading, because there's a whole bunch of different patterns, okay? And there's a whole bunch of different ways to identifying them, okay? When you look at something like this, what is this? This is a bullish divergence followed by a higher high with an SFP of the low, a V-shaped recovery continuation trade. That's what this is, right? Bull div. I can see, I don't even need my oscillator, right? This was the bottom at our pink box that we gave you guys, right? But you need to understand what's going on here. Where can I enter safely, right? So where do you enter something like this? Well, you can be tracking momentum to the downside. If that momentum breaks, you can press buy here. You can also look for a confirmation of structure change. So now that the structure is changed in here, you're looking for either a higher low or an SFP and a recovery back into the range. So you can buy this. You can buy this. Stop loss, clear invalidation. Or if you're more of a swing trader, right, and you're on, like, let's say a 15-minute time frame, and we go back over the same thing here, right? You can see we had a double bottom mitigation of structure, right? So OC said he bought this on Monday, right? So OC bought up in here. He held through this, right? So you must identify that for yourselves. Break a structure here, continuation here, right? Retest back in here. This is probably like a golden pocket, yeah. Golden pocket retracement. So you can set a trap now for the reversal for the golden pocket 618 bounce, okay? So lots of opportunities. It's understanding what it looks like and why we're taking trades there, right? That's so important. So what are we looking for the rest of today? Well, we have tons of liquidity. Where is liquidity? We always want to identify where liquidity is. Well, we know OC is right here, so we want to see price come right here. Okay. We know OC. there's OC. Okay, so we're hunting OC, right? We're playing Turok, okay? And Turok, we're in the jungle here. OC's in the Mexican jungle. We're sending the polar bear to come and get the OC guy here, okay? But no, realistically, right? Once we push up here, we have to identify where's our ranges. I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand is, like, where are we trading within? If we are range bound 80% of the time and we use volume and our predictive ranges tool to kind of identify these things, right? So we can see that most of the volume is traded here, right? Then we have here, value area high, this one here, okay? So we can see there's kind of, I would say, 4 ranges within this range, right? And what do we want to do within the ranges? We want to buy low and sell high, okay? So OC stops right here. Is he protected? I would say yes, because he has the breakout, the retest opportunity here. That's the trade that I would generally be looking to take right now. This would be I really want to take this trade. I want to get here. I want to get long because we are in an uptrend, right? That's going to be critical, okay? Identifying trend, because when we trade with trend, what it really allows us to do, it allows us to get the bigger trade, okay? When we're shorting, like I am right now, I'm looking to take this down into here. I'm looking for this move. I'm not looking for this move naturally, okay? Now, with the downtrend here, if I'm shorting here, I can be looking for the bigger move. right? Just like in a long here, I can be looking for the bigger move. What allows me to look for this is what happened last night. Okay, we had a 12-hour candle close above this high. This has told me we have changed structure. So any lower or higher low is meant to be bought up now. Okay, structure wise, right? We have higher highs, higher lows, right? So when we broke down here and we changed structure, the retest was a short, the retest was a short, the retest was a short, the retest was a short. Trade with the trend. And why do I say this is I explained to everybody you can be an absolute idiot and buy the top and still make money, okay? Because if you bought here and your stop loss was below this low here, you're still safe. So you can be negative, 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 but you'll eventually be positive because the trend will save your ass as your friend. Okay. That's why we also want to be able to identify reversals so that we can get in like I am right now and enjoy the short back down to key levels. So understanding where we're trading, what we're looking for. We're really wanting to hunt OC, but let's hope for OC stake. We keep going up. But whenever price does this overnight, we need to understand that, hey, where are we going? Where is the liquidity? Well, OC said 108. I wonder why OC said 108. What's up here? An order block, a liquidity zone. Okay, so targets, right? If the market is trying to have balance, right, you're going to wreck as much leverage in the market as. That's why price moves like this, right? Because everybody who's giga long in here gets deleveraged, knocked out, and then everybody who's giga short, they come back for them as well. Even when price is moving up, you still got to have balance in the force, right? Damn, this short's printing, man. Keep going. Let's go. 106. Here we come.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, liquidity. Whenever you have rounded price action, you typically return back to where that rounded price action began, right? We were looking for that SFP short last night. We didn't get it. So what are we now? We are very overextended, I would say. Okay, so being overextended doesn't necessarily mean we go straight down. It could mean we chop down and then we bounce. But we're generally looking for bottoming structure within key areas, right? So how do we get key areas? Well, we've identified two of them to where we're looking for. Then we can bring in our tools, right? So we can bring in fair value gaps. We can bring order blocks in, right? So we're tapping an order block right now. It's probably why we've stopped a little bit, right? So we have order blocks on the way up. I would be marking those out on your key areas. And we have key support levels. So for me, I like to match them up. I like confluence. I like multiple things pointing in one direction. So for me, this target for the short is right here, 106. Why? Well, we have key level of volume support. We have an order block just above it here, and we have liquidity being wrecked. So halfway down the candle, if we measured this as one candle from here to here, I'm always looking for that one candle halfway down the candle to be wrecked. Okay, whenever you get a bullish push, right? A big bullish push or a big bearish push, I always look for the retracement to come at least halfway down and then continue. Okay, something like that. Just so you understand what I'm generally looking for. So if we go on like a 12-hour here, we can see, oh, maybe even a daily. We can see that halfway down these candles, right? We'd be looking at the 2-day. Halfway down the 2-day, we'd be looking for a retracement back into here and then continuation upwards, right? Up only, retracement, continuation. Okay. The key thing, like I said, is that we have closed a candle, a 12-hour candle above this high. That is critical. So very good. Now, yes, we are in the short, but we should be looking for longs because we're in the uptrend. So for me, setting that trap, being prepared is what's going to be critical. If we look at like our predictive ranges, which is right here, no, I always mess this one up right here. I like to like separate this thing as best as possible to where our premium's up here but our equilibrium will be where my first buy zone is. Okay. So I have to obviously go on a shorter term time frame here. Zoom out a little bit. And that's pretty close. Okay. So the 5 minute here, really separating it for us, giving me key levels, right? And we can see we got premium, equilibrium, and discount. We have a bunch of key levels in here, and we just trade it level to level. We have the first changing character and market structure right now, suggesting more downside, right? We never had a change in structure all the way up here. So there was no reason to take a short. Now we have a change in character. So any sort of retest, we can look to short. Okay, if you're not already short. We have money flow point of control pointing in here. We have a bunch of things pointing in the right direction. So for now, I would expect a very, very painfully slow retracement. That's it. Why painfully slow? Well, you can see the price action. I don't have to be a wizard, Harry, to tell you that this is boring as fuck. But if you go over to the volatility index, we are down at 17, which is slow. Very slow. Almost unbearable for me. Okay? The VIX is something you should watch, right? Because it's the environment of the market, right? When Trump is tweeting about tariffs, look at it. Price is moving like an absolute squirrel on crack. I don't know. Crazy. Right? Just da 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 da, right? Right now, ever since he finished, look, he tweeted about the peace in that, and ever since he tweeted, look at this shit. Very painful. Okay? We got peace, no more bombs. Everybody hug, kiss each other. Then he swore. And then we're here. So very slow and painful price action. However, if patient, lower your risk, lower your position size, you can jump into trades. More of a swing trade, right? For me, scalping is almost unbearable right now. So you go over here, you can see we had topping structure. We have clear liquidity below us. We have a clear short set up. And you take that short. And it's working. It's working very nicely, right? So, but it's taking its sweet ass time. So be prepared for that as well. Okay. What are you looking at, OC?
So not much. I mean, things in the market are slowing down. Absolutely. Yeah, as you said, it's gonna be like watching paint dry. What I would suggest is sticking to the news. At this point, prepare possible areas of entry, as Alex has shown you. Let's go over a couple of things that I'm looking at. Hashtag FETH, by the way, just in case I was forgetting about. And we'll wrap it up in here just to see how the altcoin meeting goes, because that's going to be a very impactful. I mean, especially that might change the rotation of capital between altcoins and Bitcoin, which is dominance, by the way. So let's just get started. I see a decrease on Ethereum. We already have seen this bouncing off not only a premature section, but right onto, let's just wait for this to load, onto the dynamic reactor. So let's wait it. There we go, right to the dynamic reactor. There it is, bouncing off of it. So what I'm expecting here is an inverse head and shoulder. You see my alert at 2,342 for my possible entry long. That's going to be for Ethereum. For Litecoin, I do expect just a quick sweep of the lows, maybe somewhere where we have previous lows, so somewhere around 82 bucks. And that's also because, there we go, we have a beautiful support in there. So looking for a possible, not confirmed yet, a long position right here. There we go. We already have had our drawings, as you can see. So as we might have going lower. So our stop loss already marked a little bit below here. That will be it for Litecoin. So we'll see how that plays out. Nonetheless, we are below the zero line still. We need to be patient and see where we're going to be bouncing or breaking through. So far, it's not looking that bad because we're holding. But again, if we don't flip up, Most likely this is going to become a Bart Simpson. That's what I'm counting on. So I can get a much better entry. And then off we go to at least dynamic reactor and then breakthrough to somewhere around 92.70. But that will have to do with what's happening across the markets. Other than that, let's... and 1 second. Sorry, I'm one of those guys that can only do one thing at a time, guys. So sorry about that. I'll explain now what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like, dude, I just have a one core processor up here, so I either trade, talk, or respond, man. I'm a simple man.
No worries.
Sorry about that. All right, so let's just keep it as is right now on the class. Let's wrap it up. Let's go watch the video. We'll leave you guys with the link. Do you have the link out here, Alex?
For the video,
Yep, for the live stream.
I'm not sure if it's still going. Here, let me double check here.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Thank you, Dagat. Thank you, Alex. All right, guys. So let's keep an eye on that because that might change the rotation and capital. I think this is going to be important. This is going to be kind of like a homework. Let's come back tomorrow and analyze what has been said and also our trade setups. I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, or even today at night. So if you want to follow up, also remember I have a show on the Piper Academy YouTube channel. It's called Trade with OC. You are welcome to spend some time with me if you want to. That is at 6 p.m. CST, if I'm not mistaken. So other than that, guys, thank you so much. Alex, any last words before we go away?
No, it's all good, man. And just trade safe. Don't get over leveraged. Don't get over exposed. Right now it's slow. Then it chops and pops, man. So be patient. Wait for your key levels and use good risk management. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and as always, see you guys tomorrow.